Hello, in this video you will see what is the top 10 best ground units in update 12.5. Every units in this video are all obtainable and not from trading. Comment down below your top 10 ground units in update 12.5. Remember to subscribe and like, and with that being said, in no particular order, the first best ground unit is Tango, God of Flashiness. Penguin is one of the new units added in this update 12.5 and he is listed to be one of the best ground units in this update 12.5. Tango, God of Flashiness stats and max level and max upgrade is 190,109.96 damage with his SPA at 12 seconds, making his damage per second at 15,842.5. Despite of Tango having a trash range, the unit itself is pretty strong, especially at later upgrades. He will become a hybrid unit, making him attack both air and ground opponents, as well as having the nail relic equipped on Tango, God of Flashiness will be the best relic to have equipped on him, as he is a multi-hit, which he will be able to proc his crit more. Yeah. Alright, next unit is Pride the One. Escanor is still the best ground unit in this update 12.5 with his insanely strong late game stats, with Escanor having one of the biggest full AoE circle and having a really low SPA cooldown and a strong damage per second. Pride the One stats and max upgrade and max level is 57,525.41 damage, following his SPA at 6.5 seconds, making his damage per second at 8,850, but with Sunshine passive max, his new damage per second is 19,921. At later upgrades, he'll become a hybrid unit, making him attack both ground and air opponents. I suggest placing Pride the One as soon as possible, as he buffs himself permanently from placement for 15 waves. The best trait you can have on Pride the One is unique, and alternative traits you can have on him is double snipers or divine. Pride the One's damage type are physical and fire. I only recommend to bring Pride the One in waves that are 20 or longer, although I do bring him in my Infinity Castle. Lastly, Pride the One is meta for this week 13 tournament. Okay, next unit is Desu Vigilante. Deku is one of the best ground units, especially the buff that he received helped Deku quite a ton. Desu Vigilante stats and max upgrade max level is 131,618.13 damage with his SPA at 7 seconds, making his damage per second at 24,460.85. Deku is insanely strong despite of him being a one hit. At least his AoE is a huge line, with him having 4 placement, making his group damage with max upgrade overpower. Deku has 2 damage types, physical and lightning, and you can use Desu for maps that buffs lightning. The best trait you can have on Desu Vigilante is Divine, Godspeed, and he costs 68,850 yen to max upgrade. Yeah. Alright, next unit is Endeavor Hellflame. Endeavor is one of the difficult units you can evolve, as you have to continuously defeat the My Hero Academia legend stages, which are quite difficult to do. So I definitely suggest playing with a friend, and of course watch my videos at the same time. Pretty nice. Thank you. Endeavor Hellflame stats on max level and max upgrade is 151,867 damage, with his burning doing 75,848 damage, along with his SPA at 10 seconds, making his damage per second at 22,781 with burning. Endeavor Hellflame will do 2 times the damage against ice opponents. An alternative unit you can go for is Itachi Susanoo. Itachi is meta for this week 13 tournament, especially when paired with Mangekyo Eye Relic. Itachi will do an insane amount of damage. Itachi Susanoo stats on max upgrade and max level is 63,784 damage, with Itachi's burning doing 63,784 damage, along with his SPA at 6.5 seconds, making his damage per second at 19,625 with burn. Itachi have 2 power types, magic and fire. Itachi will do 2 times the damage against ice opponents, and having the Mangekyo Eye Relic is also essential to have for Itachi Susanoo. Okay, next unit is Aizen. Aizen is still one of the best magic units in this update 12.5, as at later upgrades, he'll be able to attack both ground and air enemies. Aizen is one of the hardest units to evolve, although the grind will be worth it, especially Aizen is meta for not just normal maps, but also leaderboard runs. Aizen final stats on max upgrade and max level is 249,567 damage, with his SPA at 15 seconds, making his damage per second at 16,637.8. If you ever think of doing leaderboard runs, then I definitely recommend trying to get unique, as he is one of the best units to have unique on when going for leaderboard runs. Finally, Aizen final also have manual ability called Kanzen Semen, which causes the opponents to be pushed back and shielding your base. Alright, next unit is Bakugou Howitzer. Bakugou Howitzer is insanely good as he is one of the best ground units in this update 12.5. Especially at later upgrades, he will be able to hit both ground and air enemies. Bakugou Howitzer stats on max upgrade and max level is 89,739 damage with his SPA at 7 seconds, making his damage per second at 14,956.61. Bakugou Howitzer is insanely good at later upgrades, as I have previously mentioned that he will be able to hit air and ground opponents, as well as being able to place 4 Bakugou Howitzer, making his group damage insanely strong. Bakugou Howitzer's damage type is physical, and I forgot to mention that he is a burst type, which he won't do well against shield opponents, which sucks. The best trait you can have on Bakugou Howitzer is Divine Godspeed, and he costs 64,050 yen. Sheesh. Okay, next unit is Goto Moon. Goto is one of the new units added in this update 12.5, and he is one of the best ground units in this update. Goto Moon stats on max level and max upgrade is 126,786 damage with his SPA at 8 seconds, making his damage per second at 15,848.25. This does not include the crit damage he does against bleeding enemies. At later upgrades, he will become a multi-hit unit, making him do well against shield opponents, as well as having the Lost Vein Relic equipped on Goto Moon will make him strong, and pairing him with the bleeding unit will turn into an overpowered unit. Oh my goodness. Alright, next unit is Shigaruko, Symbol of Fear. Shigaraki is one of the best ground and support units in this update 12.5. Shigaruko Symbol of Fear stats on max level and max upgrade is 74,552 damage with his SPA at 7.5 seconds, making his damage per second at 9,940.39, which is insanely strong. Shigaruko does DK damage over 3 ticks and up to 18 ticks at max upgrade, which DK stops regeneration enemies, and his DK damage doing 120% true damage at later upgrades. Do remember that Shigaruko is one of the most hardest units to evolve, as you have to continuously defeat the My Hero Academia Legend stages in this update 12.5, which are quite difficult to do, especially if you are playing them solo. Shigaruko is meta for leaderboard runs, especially with his full AoE DK, and it will also deal true damage, which is insanely overpowered. Okay, next unit is Melia Assault. Melia is the best boss killer and especially the best ground unit for Infinity Castle in this update 12.5. Melia's assault stats on max level and max upgrade is 206,171.06 damage with his SPA at 9 seconds, making his damage per second at 22,907.9. He also have a 50% crit, which there are times his damage will crit, and having the nail relic equipped on Melia's will be the best relic to have. Evolving Melia Assault is by defeating the Fabled Kingdom 10 Commandments legend stages, which are quite difficult to do if you are a beginner, so make sure to get players to help you them. You can place 3 Melia's Assault, and Melia's costs 84,800 yen to max upgrade. His damage type is physical and dark. Alright, next unit is Deki Obi. Deki is one of the new units added in this update 12.5, and she is one of the best ground and support units in this update 12.5. Deki Obi stats on max level and max upgrade is 86,178.41 damage, with her bleeding doing 34,791.37 damage with an 8 seconds SPA, making her damage per second at 15,221.22, including the bleeding damage. This is insanely strong, especially when you compared it to past secrets. You can definitely use Deki Obi as support when you have Goto Moon in your team. Deki Obi at later upgrades is a multi-hit, making her good against shield opponents. Well, that was it for this video on top 10 best ground units in update 12.5. I hope this video helped you, and remember to subscribe and like. Anyway, I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.